Marcos Maidana lost the fight. I don't even know where to start. I've literally been talking about this fight for 24 hours. I'm going to say Kenny Bayless could have not interfered or injected himself into the action so much, but regardless, Marcos Maidana lost the fight. Floyd Mayweather is 47-0, and it's nothing that can be done about that. Was there controversy surrounding the fight? Of course, we're going to talk about it, because you know why? Because I'm going to let you know I'm T Street Controversy, and I call this show T Street Controversy Live. So what I'm going to tell you is that I am now comfortable in saying that I am the #1 boxing reviewer on YouTube. And you know why? Going into the fight, I said Floyd Mayweather was going to lose. I said fate was going to catch up to him. Now, we knew he had the skills. But the question, not only with me, with everyone involving, how can I say, boxing experts, media, we all wanted to see if Floyd Mayweather could move again. Freddie Roach questioned his legs. He showed us last night that he can move. Now, I'm not saying that Floyd Mayweather put on a performance to show that he still got it from when he was 26 or 27 years old. I'm saying he did exactly what he was supposed to do. Now, when you look at the fact that Floyd Mayweather, he moved, he boxed, but you saw something in his eyes coming out to the ring and going into the ring, even leading up to this fight, that looked like doubt. What was it? Maybe stress? Go watch him come into the ring. Go find the fight, wherever you find the fight, and just while I'm talking, go watch him come into the ring. And you asked me, do you think he thought that the end, it could have been over? 47-1. It could have been over. And you know what? I think he finally, for some reason, I think Floyd Mayweather learned something last night. But we're not going to really see for at least, I'm going to say, another. We're going to have to wait and see how this turns out. We're going to have to wait a few months to see how this turns out. But if you look at what he had to go through last night, and you ask yourself, look at what he had to go through last night, and ask yourself, did he want to do that? That wasn't him wanting. He had to do that. He knew he had to keep moving. And if you look at him, it was at some points in the fight where he seemed uncomfortable doing it. Like, damn, I know I'm not supposed to be doing. But he was, you know. But we knew that's what he had to do. What I want you to also look at is, I want you to also look at the times when he was on the ropes. When he was on the ropes, what did he do? Tie up Marcos Maidana immediately. The Floyd Mayweather in the first fight did not tie up or hold Marcos Maidana. Now, the problem with Kenny Bayless is that not only did he interfere too much, you know, with the break, but he didn't warn Mayweather for the holding, and maybe, just maybe, and I'm just asking you, just put on your maybe hat, your what if hat. What if Mayweather was warned, you know, about to tell him, what if Mayweather was warned? What if Mayweather was warned, so therefore he had to think to himself, well, I gotta make sure I box and move. If I hold, I'm gonna lose a point. What I'm trying to say is, Marcos Maidana was not allowed to fight his fight, but yet there was no rules were broken. It's just that Floyd Mayweather did something that we are not used to him doing. he had to really pull out his savviness and say, okay, I can't beat this wild ass fighter. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to tie him up. And I want you to think about, like, when has Floyd Mayweather ever been known for tying people up? And that's why you got guys like Amir Khan and, you know, other people in the media and boxers saying, even Keith Thurman, oh yeah, Floyd's slipping. So even us fans, and we know, you know, that Floyd Mayweather won the fight. And just think about it, like, with the maybe hat on. Maybe Floyd Mayweather really is getting old. I think that for him to be able to move like that, he was in tremendous risk. Because if you look at the punches that Marcos Maidana was throwing, some of them was just missing by hairs. By hairs. And then when it comes to any time, you know, Mayweather does all the ducking and all that, he wasn't doing that shit last night, because against a fighter like Marcos Maidana, he has a better chance of knocking out a moving fighter than a fighter that's on the ropes. Because that moving fighter is when he catches you with the awkward, you know, from everywhere punch. And Floyd almost got caught a few times. And even if you look at that punch, the infamous punch that everybody knows, the one at the end of the third round, you saw, you know, he was like, whoa, shit. Didn't that punch look familiar? And it's crazy because somebody posted it on my page, but didn't that punch look familiar? The referee. That punch was the same punch that Juan Manuel Marquez threw and knocked Manny Pacquiao out with. And just so happened it happened at the end of the round too. Do you not think that, like, wait a minute, that's some kind of sign? Like, what, you know, I don't know, maybe I could say I'm a little superstitious. But it was the same punch. Kenny Bayless was right there. Go back and you watch it. It was the same punch. But Mayweather stood up, and Mayweather's not the Terminator like Juan Manuel Marquez. He's not a genetically enhanced organism. We'll leave it at that. The bite. The nibbler. Chino. I'm gonna call him Chainsaw. This is what I think. Do I put it past Marcos Maidana to bite somebody? I don't put it past him. Just like he has been known to, and I'm going to say it, you know, without using profanity, he's been known to punch people in the scrotum or in the penis. So and it's a common occurrence. It's like when you know Holyfield, watch out for the headbutts. You know, you know that Marcos Maidana, and listen, this is not just me joking around. Marcos Maidana likes to punch people in the penis. That's a tactic of his, and he'll lose a point, and for some reason he just doesn't care. And Marcos Maidana also has that wild card, spin the wheel, make the deal, point and fraction as he does. So it's always the low blow, and there's always something else. Now that's when he just spin the wheel, like, let me see, let me try to knee, let me slam him, hit him in the back of the head, hit him when he down, ding, 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 bite him. Do you put it past Marcos Maidana? After looking at his fights. Now it's crazy because he knew what he was doing. Now it's no way you could see him actually biting because of the Mayweather's whole big ass orthopedic glove was in his face. And you know what? Let me find my glove, because I ask you this. You saw a little red mark on Mayweather's finger, just a little red mark. But I'm asking, with a mouthpiece on, right? With a wrap, with the orthopedic glove designed to protect the fighter's hands. I have to ask, how did Floyd Mayweather hurt his hand? Wasn't Marcos Maidana. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. It wasn't Marcos Maidana. Yes, do I believe Marcos Maidana bit him? Yes. But that was Mayweather's excuse to say, oh, shit, Marcos Maidana gonna bite through gloves with a mouthpiece on. What was the mouth? Did the mouthpiece come out? And did he put it back in, yo? Watch the fight in HD, and you can see Maidana's doing something. You can see, and that's people, and that you can see he's doing something. You know, and it's because, but you have to think, it's a boxing strategy also to put the glove in someone who is known to have stamina issues into the face, take that air away. So if you Mayweather, jab to the body, soon as Maidana throws a punch, grab him, push him down, put your glove over his face, take his little bit of breath out because you already hit him with a body shot. Now you're leaning on him. That's more energy taken away from him, and you putting the glove over his face so he can't breathe. Clear. It's been used before. That's veteran moves. So I guess, and of course I know I'm all for the theatrics and everything. I knew that when I came on here, as always, people thought I was going to make an excuse when I was wrong. It's no excuse. It's really no excuse to make, because when you look at the fact that Marcos Chino Maidana, oh wow, that's rude. Anyway, when you look at the fact that Marcos Chino Maidana threw 100+ less punches than he did in the first fight, well, something was clearly wrong. You could say that Mayweather moved, didn't allow him to. You could say that Kenny Bayless did not allow Marcos Maidana to fight his fight. Now, I understand Marcos Maidana's fight, people say, oh, that's the dirty style. No, I'm talking about allowing Marcos Maidana to work on the inside when if you're a referee, you look at the fighters and you say, well, in the first fight, Mayweather fought Maidana's fight while he was on the ropes. Let me chew this up. I want to say I'm T-Street Controversy and I cover boxing. So basically, this Saturday, I believe it's the 20th, All Access, the Epilogue. Yes, there's always one after the fight. It's going to be coming on along with the replay of the fight. So I review every single episode of HBO 24/7, every single episode of All Access live, and also provide previews for each. So basically, I'm an unofficial Showtime HBO promoter. So no. Please subscribe. Oh, the episodes right down below, Real Combat Media. I want people to know that when I put this stuff, I'm typing all this stuff you see down there. I'm putting that stuff down there for you to read and click on. I'm not just putting anything down there. Like, really, this YouTube stuff is hard, man. It's hard. I'm doing it by myself now. Take your time. So since I'm going to be drinking a little bit of water and chewing on my carrot, I want you to take a little bit of time and just click on the link right below. Check out the website. And then below that is my Facebook forum, boxing forum. Now, you can hate my guts. As long as you got a profile picture, and as long as you got more than like 200 friends, and as long as your Facebook page is active and I see it's not just some old made up shit, then you're in. Besides that, you're not. Now, what I'm going to say is, I have about 300 current and former world champions, prospects, such and such, all on my page. So it's legit. It's not just some dude with some. My page is legit, and I make sure all boxing news comes there first, and not even from me. I strategically pick people. When I first started off, I strategically pick people. Like, oh, he worked in this gym. Oh, he worked on him. There's levels to this shit. Anyway. Listen. It's come to a point right now where you have to ask yourself the question, what's next? What is next? What can be next? Keith One-Time Thurman is the #1 contender for Floyd Mayweather's WBA Super World title. That's the other main world title of the WBA. Amir King Khan is the #1 contender for the WBC 147-pound welterweight title. The winner of Sergey Rabchenko and Anthony Mundine will be the mandatory #1 contender for the WBC 154-pound title. The WBA Super World 154-pound title. Remember, Erislandy Lara has the other one. The other one. It's like Golovkin has the main WBA title, and Danny Jacobs has the other one that Lara has. That's what I'm saying. So the #1 contender. When it comes to the WBA, you got Erislandy Lara, right? Who has the other belt? And listen to this. You got Canelo and Josh Clottey as as basically them two fight. It'll be a title eliminator. Them two fight, you get the shot at. You'll become a mandatory for Mayweather. And I'm just saying, look it up. So the number. So when it comes to the WBA, and I'm talking about 154. There's a reason why I'm talking about this. When it comes to WBA 154, you got Mayweather, Erislandy Lara, Josh Clottey, and remember, Mayweather and Lara are counted as the champions. So then the #1 ranked is Josh Clottey, and then you got Canelo Alvarez, and Mundine is like something like, I believe like #9 or #11 like that. But then when it comes to the WBC, he's fighting for a #1 contender. And this is the type of stuff I do, I just, look at all the stats and all the numbers and all that. So when you think about that, you think, okay, well, who can he fight? Now, Keith Thurman is the #1 contender. Keith Thurman did some whack. I'm not even gonna come at him about it, because I understand, Keith Thurman did an interview with Brian Kenny on Showtime pay-per-view, Mayweather versus Maidana 2. Amir Khan was sitting right next to him, but just days prior, he did a video with my man Cougs of Coog and Cassius of IFL, and he was talking mad bubble gum. He was talking reckless, ladies and gentlemen. So it's like, you got the man right there next to you, and you don't do nothing. What does he say afterwards in the video on ESN? What does he say? He said, well, Al Heyman, and then you hear that at the beginning of the video, something like that. And then he goes on to say, well, I didn't want to be disrespectful. Amir Khan was being very polite and nice. And I can understand, like, you want to talk some shit to somebody, and the guy's like, hey, man, how you doing? And you like, I want to say, fuck you, and I'll beat your fucking ass. And he just, how do you talk shit? That's just like you talking all that shit to Pacquiao. And he's going to just sit there and smile and just be like, what is he? This is like, how can you, like Timothy Bradley said, he said, how can you, how can you be, he's too lovable. And it's crazy that you can say something about that. So, I guess what I'm saying is, Keith Thurman, it seems that this whole Keith Thurman thing, man, and if you don't know who Keith Thurman is, he is now officially, I can say, a contender, because he's the #1 contender. Before, I was viewing him as a prospect. But after Julio Diaz, who gave Amir Khan problems, and I think Amir Khan still do have Julio Diaz problems, Jesus Soto Karass, Diego Chavez, who you know more about now, and I think, okay, well, you know what? For him to be where he's at, okay, I'm not going to argue with him wanting a title shot. But will he get it? Now, once again, let me run it down to you before I move on to the next subject. Mayweather, the mandatory for Mayweather is Amir Khan or Keith Thurman, Sergey Rabchenko, or Anthony Mundine. Maybe Josh Clottey and Canelo, but not right now. That's not going to be until maybe September or sometime, if he decides to keep that WBA 154-pound title. So, if you don't know, the WBA 147-pound Super World title, the WBC welterweight title, and the WBC junior middleweight title were all on the line. 2 weight divisions, but the only belt that wasn't defended was the WBA Super World 154. I know I'm confusing you, and that's why I'm going to move on, but there's another name that just keeps surfacing up. Emmanuel Dapudran Pacquiao. Mr. Manny Pacquiao, Mr. Aggressiveness. Why is his name surfacing? Well, let me tell you this. Listen. I'm wrong sometimes. When I say sometimes, it don't happen very often. But I'm usually wrong when it comes to predicting fights. Like if I'm ever wrong. Now, this year I actually did some looking up. And if I was a gambler, I'd be a very rich man. I've been wrong very few times this year. You know, literally, I can count on my hand. So, and I have the videos to prove it. But what I've noticed is that I forgot what I was going to talk about. Oh, Manny Pacquiao. Oh, Bulwark Empire's on. Oh, it's about to be. Oh, yeah, I'm out. But listen, a couple more minutes, because there's going to be some people that's going to think this is the real episode, which is on you. Read the title. Teach Your Controversy, Teach Your Controversy Live. Manny Pacquiao's name. I'm going to talk about this for 10 minutes. Manny Pacquiao's name keeps coming up. Me, I feel that I got some inside exclusive news, which I won't know if it's true until, as Floyd Mayweather said, he'll know in November 2014, who he will be fighting. Manny Pacquiao is taking on Chris Algieri in November. But listen to me. I got news that over the winter, see, I was dancing around it, but I'm going to tell you straight out. I got news in the winter from somebody who hasn't let me down before, and I'll be honest with you, I have a fairly large Filipino following, and a meeting took place, from what I'm getting, in the winter of 2013. A meeting took place, and a meeting took place outside of the United States. Floyd Mayweather went to Asia on vacation. Floyd Mayweather to Asia? Okay, alright. But I think, like, really? But he went. And that was around the time Oscar De La Hoya wished Bob Arum a Merry Christmas. That was like the beginning, like showing the truce. There was a lot going on. But what I'm telling you is now, when you got Floyd Sr., and I'm going to talk about him, Roger Mayweather, Sam Watson, the father of the brothers Watson, those two Watsons that being them twins, that be in the ring, but they're not really twins. You think they twins, but they're not. But everybody's like, who are them twins? They always in the boxing in the back taking people shine. They know. Cool Cassius know. Or you want to know why the fight's not happening. You want to say, why should I believe that the fight is happening? Why now? Why should I believe that the fight is happening? I did some numbers earlier, and I'm going to just run it down to you real quick. That pay-per-view last night for HD cost me $75 plus tax. You would pay $100, $99.99 for Pacquiao or Mayweather versus Pacquiao. You would. You'll say you won't, but you would. Because you know why? Even if you don't pay for it, you're not going to sit alone in the house and watch that fight. I'm going to make sure I'm watching it in peace. But everybody is going to be watching that fight. So if people say, I'm not going to watch it, what are you going to do? The streets were popping last night. It's less than 24 hours after the fight, and the streets was popping last night before the fight. You know when Mayweather's going to fight. Random people ask you why you waiting in line for gas. Like, so who you think will win that fight tonight? And I'm looking like, you don't know, I'm T-Street Controversy. and I know it's going to be wrong, but still. What I'm saying is that you will pay $100 for that fight. If Pacquiao, my bad, Mayweather versus Pacquiao, A-side. If Mayweather versus Pacquiao did 2.5 million pay-per-view buys at $100, that's $250 million. At the gate, add another 40 million, maybe 50 million in gate sales and all that other bullshit revenue you getting. $300 million for one fight. Mayweather can get 100, Pacquiao can get 100, and the promoters can split 100. That's outrageous. And I'm not saying it will work out that way, but that's outrageous. Al Heyman, Oscar De La Hoya, Eric Gomez, Richard Schaefer, Bob Arum, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Freddie Roach, Roger Sr., Mayweather Sr., and I can continue to name names. These are men who are going to hate themselves when it comes to losing all of that money. We say Al Heyman wants to get the best money for his fighters. You know how much money that is? That's crazy. That's crazy right there. That's crazy. It's craziness. And you ask yourself, well, should Pacquiao have took that $40 million? And I stand by it and say, no. Now, should Pacquiao have stayed on the phone and negotiated? Pacquiao said 50-50 or nothing. People, and I believe Pacquiao was right at that time. Floyd was fighting part-time, and Pacquiao was fighting consistently, knocking people out. And go ahead, I dare you to say, well, he was juicing, because guess what? I want you to go check an article on Boxing Scene. Also, I want you to go look it up on YouTube. And I wish I could play it for you right now, but honestly, I should have had it set up before I did the video. You have Roger Mayweather Floyd Sr. accusing, once again, Manny Pacquiao of being on something. Did you know, and people thought I just was making this shit up. I did a video when it happened. Did you know that Floyd Mayweather, Roger Mayweather, and Floyd Sr. settled out of court with Manny Pacquiao for defamation? Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. They were talking about going to the Supreme Court. You remember what happened with Mark McGuire? Remember what happened with, I forgot his name, the one that wrote the book ratting on everybody. Well, anyway, what I'm saying is that at that point in time, they all met, and Floyd was never allowed to say anything about Pacquiao being on anything. And that's why he hasn't since. But the damage that he did with a big name like his and with a very large ignorant fan base, they're like, oh, Floyd said he on roids. So then, you know, and now if you really think about it, where did that start? That started from Floyd. And a lot of people do not know that Floyd got sued for that shit and had to settle out of court because he had no proof. But what you also do not know, go ahead, call me a hater, is that Floyd Mayweather's medical records, when subpoenaed, because somebody tried to tell me, well, what is it called, HIPAA or something? I forgot where they protect your medical records. Somebody told me, well, that protects him from getting his records. His medical records were going to be subpoenaed by the courts, the law. Look up a word called quashed, and look up a word quashed, and look up quashed, and then Mayweather. Google quashed, that's Q-U-A-S-H-E-D, and then Mayweather. What I'm trying to tell you is that it's come to a time, you know, when I'm thinking, like, how can people keep listening to everything this man said? But then at the post-fight press conference, when asked about Pacquiao, even at the post-fight interview, asked about Pacquiao, something bizarre has happened that hasn't happened before. Mayweather didn't talk about numbers. Mayweather didn't talk about money. A big advancement, people. He said it could happen. Now, of course, you're going to say all that, you know, he can join the money team. He got to join the money team and leave by Bam. Nah, that's all a ploy. Think about this. Why would they tell us now, you know, that they're negotiating? Like, fans would be pissed. You know, if it fell apart again. They're saying, like, all right, we're going to keep it secret till we know it's done. And it's not done until Pacquiao defeats Algieri. Makes sense, right? You got... Of course they're going to deny it. Pacquiao, the one who slipped up. People think, do you think Pacquiao is mentally ill, or is he, you know, suffering from the disease of autism? Like, why did he just say that? You know, he slipped that he wasn't supposed to say it. You know, but why would he say it? Like I said, when he said he's in serious negotiations, he said he was in serious negotiations, but he said in his face like, well, I'm hoping it happened this time. You know, they're talking about it. But there's so much now, so much proof now that's leading up to say, listen, okay, it's now or never. This fight's got to happen. Floyd Mayweather almost losing the first fight with Marcos Maidana, having to face him, a very tough fight in a rematch because you know he had to get rid of those problems. Pacquiao getting knocked out by Marquez. We thought it was all over then. Maybe even Pacquiao was going to retire. Pacquiao could have lost Timothy Bradley. You get me? You get me? Once again, I'm going to say $300 million. If it does 2.5. Now, you might as well get it in your heads right now. They're going to charge us $100. And you know why? Because we are going to pay for it. I'm going to pay for it. I want to say this. I'll finish this up after All Access. I'm going to watch my show and I'm actually going to get some sleep. I did an 8-hour Google Hangout. Google Hangout is a live streaming. So basically Google Hangout is you'll see me right here live. I'm going to be doing that a lot more. And I think I'm going to start doing 8 hours to show people I'm serious. So what I'm going to say is, please subscribe. When it comes to my goal, my mission, to be a boxing promoter. I got some t-shirts coming. They were supposed to be out. Still waiting. Things are moving. T-Street Concept right here. There you come for the law.